All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of the High School Huddle. I'm AJ Feldman. He's, as always, Carl Jones. We have got a great show for you today. We got an exciting show for you today. We're into the playoffs, Carl.
Best time of the year, man. I got a little taste of it in the fall, and it was very fun to cover and check out. Can't wait for this iteration of it.
Yeah, we got basketball sectionals are underway. Hockey is winding down, and then in all the other sports, teams are either going off to the state tournament, trying to qualify for the state tournament. So we've been saying it for a while, but we are really kicking into full gear. We got a great show for today. We're gonna dive into some of these basketball brackets, really give you a good breakdown there. Touch on some teams we really like, some teams that might be coming on the rise, some just like previewing the madness that's going to happen first. But first, as I mentioned before, we've got hockey is already into the finals for Class B, and then probably by the time you hear this, the Class A finals will already be determined. So last night, it was a great night of hockey in the Class B finals. You had Aquinas beating Schrader 6-5 in overtime. Just a wild game. And then you had Thomas taking care of business with a 4-0 shutout of Canandaigua. It was Thad Brown who was over at the Aquinas game. So I just got the recap from him, saw the highlights. But man, this game, Thad was saying it was a crazy game, high scoring game, obviously 6-5. Teams were going back and forth, some nice student sections. And the thing that I really took away from this was Thad was saying, it was 6-5. It wasn't really like a lot of goalie mistakes in this one. These were like 11 pretty good quality goals being scored. So when you get that many chances, you're seeing some pretty good hockey. It was Schrader had 28 shots. Aquinas had 38. So Aquinas, controlling the play for a decent amount of that. Needed overtime to get that. It was Aris Miller with a game-winning winner in overtime, his third goal of the night, completing the hat trick there. So congrats to Aquinas. They'll beat Thomas in the Class B championship game. They just kind of took care of business against Canandaigua. It was 3-0 after the first period, 4-0 early in the second, and they just kind of coasted from there. 26-18 shots on goal. Thomas just really controlled play. They dominated puck possession. Canandaigua really didn't get a lot of prime scoring chances. They were keeping everything to the outside. It was just really sound, fundamental hockey. And Carl, you got the chance to go out to Thomas earlier this week, talk with the Steppenbreck brothers. What'd you kind of learn in your time out there talking to Thomas there?
Yeah, it was a fun interview. The three brothers, they're very like laid back and down to earth, which was it was definitely I guess that kind of took me by surprise. Usually when you got three brothers like all the same age, like one of them's usually like the rowdy one and like the energetic one, this and the third, but they all were kind of, at least from my perspective, all well-mannered, like good kids, down to earth. It was a very good story. I mean, off camera they talked about how their mom brought them into the sport of hockey, which, I mean, nothing wrong with that. It just kind of just threw me for a loop where the mom introduced you to a game as physical as hockey. So shout out to the mom for that. But they're good kids. This is their last go around together, and they all kind of said they put that on the back burner a little bit. They wanted to just enjoy their time that they have now. But I mean, they're a really good team. I mean, obviously for those listening, obviously know that Thomas is going for their third sectional title in the past 4 years. They came up short in the first round last year to Penfield, and they had that on their mind. They said that was something that they really honed in on early on in the season. They wanted to bounce back. But man, those three brothers, it's amazing that all three on the same team together on a very successful team. So that makes it even more enjoyable. But, really, really good team. I think they're ranked 4th in the state at the moment. So we'll see how far they can go.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Penfield knocking them off. They jumped up to Class A. So we'll see them as we record this Thursday afternoon. They'll be playing tonight against Brighton in the other Class A game. It's Victor and McQuaid. We kind of both expect Penfield and Victor to meet in that championship game. They've been on a collision course for most of the season. We will see if any of those, if McQuaid or Brighton HFLER can pull off the upset. But if you're listening to this after Thursday, don't be surprised if when you look this up, it's Victor and Penfield playing in the championship game on Sunday. We've also got, wrestling is in action. They're playing in the state tournament this weekend. They're playing in the state tournament. They're wrestling in the state tournament this weekend. First initial rounds are on Friday. Then you got the semis and the championships on Saturday. I was able to go to the Section 5 Wrestling Media Day, talk to some of the main competitors. Got to talk to Rocco Camilacci and Jaden Scott. Both of those two competitors both ranked number 1 in the state for their respective weight classes. Jaden Scott at Rush Henrietta. You've got Rocco Camilacci at Hilton. So both of those wrestlers, they have been to the state tournament multiple times. They have both finished in the top 5 multiple times. They've come oh so close to those that elusive state championship. They are seeking that out this year. So got to talk to both of them, how much they're kind of looking forward to this, how much they've had this on their minds. They both are, going off to Division I schools. They're nationally ranked. They've won big tournaments in the past before, but this title has eluded them so far. Of course, last year, no state tournament, so they did not get that chance in their junior years. But Jaden Scott at 145, Rocco Camilacci at 152. So you've got that going for you. And then I also got the chance to talk to HFL, which is a really fun story. They won their first ever sectional title this year. And just the growth of this program is really something. They were saying, just a couple of years ago, they had 5 players on the roster, overall. This weekend, they're sending 5 people to the state tournament. So it really is something, just talking to them, talking about, the growth of the program, how they've built it up. Anthony Noto, he was a 4-time state champion. He went off, he's now at the University of Lock Haven. He kind of was the first great HFL wrestler. Now he's got 2 of his younger brothers on the team. They really built it up with this youth program. It's really great to talk to them. They're just really excited about what they've been able to accomplish there. So you can find that at rochesterfirst.com as well. Always fun to get out to the wrestling mats and investigate those stories as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Always give them some love and spotlight what they have going on. I was able to talk to Jaden Scott at his sectional final meet and got to talk to him a little bit. And I think the first thing I said was, how many sectional titles is this? And he said it was his 5th. And then I'm like, well, you got to go get just in a snarky, little tone. I was like, man, you got to go for the state ring. And he was like, that's all I've been thinking about. And when you saw that, when you brought back that footage of him saying the same thing, daydreaming it and this, that, and the third, I was like, man, he's not lying. So I hope that Section 5 does their thing down there at the state tournament, and hopefully someone comes back with a first place finish.
Yeah, and then the other story I was able to work on this week, Edison Tech boys basketball. We've been talking about them all season long. That AA bracket's going to be wild. And the thing that I really kind of, touched on that I didn't quite realize before, we've been talking about their depth and things like that. They're young. They're crazy young too. They've got these 3 sophomores who are probably, they're going to be a nightmare for Section 5 in the years to come. So, this could be like the little appetizer of what Edison Tech is going to be building the next couple of years. They've got the talent to do it. They're the 3rd seed in Class AA. They're going to face McQuaid in the first round, a team that they've already beat earlier in this season. But just looking at the future, you've got Markel Freeman. He's putting up 10 points and 6 assists a game. Davion Lipscomb, 10 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds a game. And then Mari Binion, 8 points and 10 rebounds per game. So these are 3 guys, just a great core that they're building there at Edison Tech. If you see in the near future, Edison Tech, this could be, 1 seed next year and the year after that. So this could be a nice little run that Edison Tech is building on here in Section 5.
Yeah, this is one of the first teams that I got to follow a little bit this current basketball season. Saw them take down Aquinas week 1 or 2, and I was like, man, they're kind of tough. And you guys were like, oh, maybe I'd be a little upset this, that, and the third. And come to find out, they actually were a really, really good basketball team. And I guess that was the one thing that stood out to me as well early on is it's a who's who of who can come at you on any given night. And when I found out they were as young as what you said they were, I'm like, uh-oh, good luck, Section 5. So I'm interested to see how that youth translates to the postseason.
Yeah, they've actually dropped their last 2 in the regular season. A tough one to East, obviously. East is East, and then Rush Henrietta, who has played some good basketball down the stretch. So we will see how that shakes out. We will see how the rest of our other brackets shake out this weekend as we now dive into our sectional basketball preview. We're going to take a look at, some different teams in different regards, highlight some of the favorites, some of the sleepers, some of the really exciting brackets to watch. We're going to start off with our locks, as you were to say. There are no locks, but, our favorites, our teams we're planting the flag in. To say if we're gonna have to, put all our chips on the table, this is the team we want to put it for. So Carl, you got the layup in this one for sure, and I left this layup for you. Carl, who are you planting your flag in for this sectional basketball run?
It was a team that I only saw twice this year, but that was all I needed to see. The Waterloo Indians out of Class B1. This team is legit. They're ranked number 1 in the state for a reason. And I said this earlier, and I stand by it. I don't know if they're not one of the 2 or 3 best teams in Section 5, regardless of classification. And they are legit 5, 6 like players deep. It's not like they have just one star player and then just give it to her and let her cook. No, like they have a legit 5 who at any given moment can get you a nice 10 or 15. I mean, you got Morgan Caraballo, Macy Carr, Jasmine Lewis, their star player, Giovanna White Principio. She's legit. I mean, any highlight that we show, she's down there causing havoc in the paint. And then Addison Breen and also Natalie DeSanto. I mean, this team they're 20-0. They wrecked havoc all year. We haven't been able to talk to them because they're a little ways away, but I mean, I'm sure that they have some great stories within.
We've also kind of been saving them for when they go on their deep run because we know it's going to come.
Exactly. I mean, this team is legit. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of great teams, and I'm not trying to belittle anything that maybe can upset them because, as we talked about before, basketball is a make or miss sport, and who knows. But if I have to put my money on any team and say that any team has looked the most impressive this year, the Waterloo Indians, man. I mean, I can't say enough about them. I saw them twice, once against Mercy and then another time against Livonia in both games. Legit. That's all I needed to see. And they also took down Canandaigua, who is also a top 5 team in Class 8. So this isn't just and when I say that this is a team that can take down any team in Section 5, I'm not saying that just to say that for my health. Canandaigua is a really good team. Very, very good.
That's their only loss this season.
That's their only loss this season, and they beat them by 13. It was a 39-26 ball game. So clearly, Waterloo can hang with anybody. So I got to give my flowers to them. And if there's a team that wins their sectional championship, I'm gonna have to say it's them.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, that is the team that we've all been watching all season long. They're just a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to check the box score, see how much they win on any given night. You can't say anything more against Waterloo. Now it's just their time to prove it in sectionals.
Exactly.
Moving over to my flag, the team that I'm planting my flag in. I'm going with the Pittsford Mendon boys basketball team, and it's at these top levels. It's always tough because Mendon, they did lose to Thomas, things like that. But I've just seen Mendon multiple times this season, and I just see a team that is just built for a deep playoff run. This is a team that has the playoff experience. They've won multiple sectional titles in recent years. They won it last year. I think they might have won it the year before as well. No, that was East and Eastridge. So this is, Mendon, they just have the guys. They've got, Jackson Green. They've got Caleb Lewis. They just got the talent. They've got the shooters. And I saw him against Victor, who, as we all know, is doing amazing things this season. They handed them their only loss of the entire season. They just shut them down. I just see a team that's really, they beat Eastridge by 11 points. That's a really quality win recently. Eastridge could be a potential team that they play in a Class A crossover game. It just feels like Mendon is a team that it's going to be really tough to stop. And, Thomas, they did beat him. I've seen Thomas play in person. They have some really good talent, but I just see Mendon at, just one step higher than Thomas, where, I feel pretty confident in predicting a Mendon sectional championship this year.
They're legit. And I think we talked about this in football a little bit and how when you're not on your A game, can you still pull it out? And what impressed me the most was their last Rainbow Classic game against Sutherland. That second half, Mendon really wasn't on their P's and Q's. They, their shots weren't falling. They weren't getting to the rim as well. Their defense may have not been as top notch as it usually is. Yet they still convincingly won the game, and that goes to show me how well put together this team is. They have the mental capacity to not wither this, that, and the third. We know you can win when you're knocking down 10 threes, but can you win when it's ugly? And they showed that against a pretty decent Sutherland team. And from that point forward, I was like, yeah, I knew they were legit, but you can tell that team can go on a serious run and not just sectionals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that it's deep. It's, it's experienced at the top. They've just got all the pieces. It'll be interesting to see, what other people can do in that A1 bracket. Taking a look at the other teams, we mentioned Thomas, of course. You've also got Schrader at the 3 spots. I mean, honestly, Schrader versus Athena, that might be one of the best games of the quarterfinals. Athena is a very strong team where, I might, it's in Schrader, but I actually might put Athena as the favorite in that game. You've got Irondequoit, who they're probably going to meet in the semifinal round. They're going to play Canandaigua. So that's, another great team from Irondequoit. But I just think that, Mendon is just a little bit of a step above where I like them to come out on top in the A1 bracket. Taking a look at shying away from these favorites we've been talking about, we're going to go to some of the sleepers, our underdogs, some lower seeded teams that could potentially go on a run here. Carl, who's your underdog for sectional play here?
It's kind of cheating considering I just saw them 2 weeks ago, and I kind of said that they can go on a sectional run, and here they are now. I'm going with the Lions. They just took down East Rochester, snapping their 26-game winning streak. They've won 8 out of their last 9. So whatever they started off the season with, they clearly switched it around with a 14-6 record right now. They took down Campbell in their round 1 game. They face Kendall, the 4 seed, coming up next on this upcoming Saturday. I just see a team that has Jay LaBelle, and that's about as blunt as I can say that. This time of year, yeah, I mean, star players, when they're stars, there's nothing really much that you can do about it. I saw an East Rochester team that's very, very talented and probably in their own right will win a sectional title themselves. Not be able to do a thing with her. This team is legit. I mean, if she's cooking, and every time I look in the box score, she's having 25, 30, maybe throw a 35 in there as a freshman, by the way. But it's also others as well. And we talked about that game. There were other players who were knocking down threes and you couldn't do anything about it. That Lions team, if they can get hot, and if Jay LaBelle is on her P's and Q's, good luck. And they're in the same bracket as Pavilion, who's had a very successful year. They haven't played this year. They did lose twice to Clyde Savannah, but that was before they went on that 8 of 9 streak. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see what Jay LaBelle and company can do.
Yeah, and you mentioned when you saw him play that time, just shooting the lights out. If there's any a formula for a big upset, it's a team that can get hot. So you like that they have that in their wheelhouse there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a make or miss game, and they just need to make a couple. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But if I had to pick a sleeper, it'll be the Lions.
Yeah, and I'm also going to go with a team in girls basketball in Class C, actually, moving up from the C2 bracket to the C1 bracket. I'm going to go with the Avon Braves. They're the 4 seed. They're at a 12-8 this season, but that record, we talked about this a little bit before. It's a little bit deceiving. Serena McDowell, she came back midway through the season. They started off the season 1-7. They have gone on 11-1 run to finish the year at 12-8. As the 4 seed, they're going to be tested in that semifinal game against East Rochester, like you mentioned, the 19-1 East Rochester Bombers. But this is just a team that is playing good basketball at the right time of the season. Serena McDowell, she is just a force down low. She's averaging 17.8 points per game. She's averaging 11.5 rebounds per game. She's just really tough to stop. She came back from that injury. She's got 25 blocks on the season. She's averaging, over 2 blocks a game. She's averaging 2 assists per game. She's averaging almost 2 steals per game. She's filling up the box score. Now I did look at this winning streak, trying to highlight some top wins. There aren't a ton in that win streak. So they have been a little bit benefited from the schedule. They've only played 2 teams in that 11-1 stretch that have winning records right now. It's Calmum, who's at 11-10, and it's Geneseo, who's at 11-9. So they aren't really beating the top echelon teams of the Class C. So we will see how they fare against a team like East Rochester. They did play Livonia for B2. They lost to them by 10 on the road. So they did suffer a loss to their only real upper echelon opponent. But I just like a player like Serena McDowell. She has done a lot of winning since she's come back. She has not done a lot of losing since she's come back. And as a junior, 6'2" down low, I think I'm liking her chances to push the Braves on a deep run and at least really push East Rochester to work and go back to back. That's for sure.
clearly there's, I mean, obviously East Rochester is really good, but clearly they are beatable, guys. They are beatable. Just letting you guys know. They did lose. So um, obviously this time of year, like I just alluded to, star players, give them the rock and just let them do their thing. And clearly Avon has one of those. So we'll see if she can elevate her team to a possible, well, got to win upcoming game, but if they can somehow take down East Rochester as well, anything is possible this time of year.
Yeah, and we talk about, box office, things like that. Serena McDowell and Sam Lewis does not get much better, especially in a small school, semifinal matchup. You're not going to find much better matchups than that one right there.
Oof. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you're right. You're talking about that. Yeah, Sammy Lewis, you could pick the sport, and then obviously Serena's doing her thing as well. Oof. Y'all might have to check that one out.
That's going to be tough. That is going to be tough indeed. And then we're gonna shift gears to talk about these brackets as a whole. We've talked all season long about there's a lot of really exciting brackets out there. Carl, what's the class, the bracket that you're most excited to see how it all shakes out? The one you're most really looking forward to watching this playoff season.
I would have had a different answer 2 weeks ago, but after watching HFL, I guess, jump out on a huge lead to East Ridge, this is a bracket that has my attention. The A2 bracket for boys. This bracket has, we talked about star power. They got it. I mean, you got East Ridge with Emmanuel Emanuels with Saquon Wester, then with HFL with Nolan Smith and JT Killenbeck. With the East, I mean, it's a who's who. I mean, Damani Barley. We got an 8th grader, Zion Parsons, doing it now. So East has their guys, and then with Wayne is the Mason Blankenberg show. He can put up 20, 25 in a hurry. This bracket, I can't wait to see how the stars align and who steps up in that regard. I mean, the biggest, I guess, quarterfinal matchup for me is going to be the HFL Sutherland 4-5 matchup. HFL took them down earlier in the year at home, 60-50. Sutherland's not going to lay down. They're a scrappy bunch, as we both know. So we'll see how that translates to the postseason. What's also kind of intriguing is that outside of Sutherland, all the first round matchups were won by the lower seed. And I mean, Leadership took down, Leadership advanced to the 11th seed, Rockport advanced, they're the 10th seed, and then School of Arts as well. So I'm not going to say that those teams are going to, I'm not predicting upsets by any means, but clearly there's some going on in that bracket, something in the air.
Something funny in the water there.
Something funny over there. So we're going to see how it all shakes up, but man. And then if it is chalk, the collision course with East and East Ridge, I mean, you want to talk about box office, those two teams right there can, if that matchup shakes out, man, I mean, the gym is going to be electric with all the fanfare and all the athleticism that's going to be on that court. So for me, I got my eyes on A2. It's going to be a lot of funny business that's been going on to start. We'll see how that transpires over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that East Ridge matchup, that was a game that was played 2 years ago. In the Class A crossover game, when it was, I believe it was East Ridge in A1, and then it was East in A2. That was, that was the last game before COVID hit. So that was at that game. That was a wild one as well. Yeah, like you mentioned, even looking at the bottom of the bracket, Leadership came in at 2-18, and this was a team that, we had kind of ignored all season long. They had not had a strong season. We even, me and Thad were figuring out which game we wanted to go to early yesterday. And it was tight at the half. And we're like, Leadership's probably hanging around and Monroe's going to pull away, whatever. They shut us up pretty good. So there's already, like you said, there's already something funny in the water. And then, we talked a lot about East and East Ridge. Wayne just took a really good Irondequoit team right to the wire in their regular season finale. So at a 3 seed and 13-7, who knows what can happen there. I'm not going to predict them to be East by any stretch of the imagination, but that's going to be a really fun semifinal game to watch as well. So, definitely a strong pick to figure that one out. So I'm really excited to figure out how that all shakes down in A2 there.
Yeah, and like I said, if it's chalk and East Ridge plays HFL was up 20 after the first quarter, guys, on East Ridge. So that's not going to be a walkover game at all either. So, man, it's A2. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, and then my bracket that I've really got my eyes on it could really be both of the AA brackets. Now, we've talked so much in this season about the boys AA bracket and all the teams that could win that. Really, every team that's left has a chance to win that boys title. But I am really intrigued to see how AA girls basketball shakes out. You've got Bishop Kearney, highly ranked in the States. They lost last year, but they won multiple times before that. They're the big unknown. They've beaten a lot of really talented out of section teams. They have not played a ton of in-section teams. They played out Our Lady of Mercy twice. They beat him handily both times. Thad got out to see him once, said, they're good. They poured it on. They had some shooters. They did some good things. But, we've talked all season long about, this AA girls bracket. Fairport at 16-4, probably a year ahead of schedule, perhaps, from their dominant year that's going to come up next year. Can they beat Bishop Kearney? You've got Penfield at 14-5, the defending sectional champs. Markville, they've got, players on players. They've had some ups, they've had some downs, but it seems like they're playing some really good basketball now. You've got Victor and Hilton, both two teams in the 4-5 matchup that are, the who's of, sleeper underdog teams that can really go on a run here. They're gonna get Bishop Kearney in the next round in all likelihood. They're already gonna have one win under their belts. So they're going to be feeling pretty good as they go take down Bishop Kearney potential. They're going to try and give them their best shot. It's just going to be really fun to see, and like we've kind of said all season long, this might just turn out to be, all these teams played each other except for Bishop Kearney. And when someone actually got to Bishop Kearney, it's like a 10, 15 point game. We don't know, but I just can't wait to see how this shakes out here.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think another thing that's intriguing about this bracket is that the old adage styles make fights is very true and abundant in this bracket. I mean, Bishop Kearney, star power. I mean, a lot of girls who can get their own. And then Victor, if you guys have ever seen them play, good luck scoring on them and good luck. You're in a dogfight against Victor, all right?
Good luck getting the highlights when you're going to a Victor game.
Yeah, it's a dogfight against Victor, all right? So I mean, it's going to be a very physical game, and you gotta be prepared for a 4-quarter game against them. Fairport, as we talked about, might be a year ahead of schedule, but man, they're young, but man, they're explosive. Penfield, very disciplined. Now that they're they're dominating of late. I don't want to undersell them. They've been dominant of late, okay? But they also are very disciplined with their sets and this, down the third. So I know styles make fights, but maybe a team that's like a Fairport runs into a team like Penfield, who is very, methodical in how they move. Maybe they struggle in a one and done format. I don't know. Not predicting that, but styles make fights, and man, there are a lot of different styles in this bracket.
Yeah, and then even Our Lady of Mercy, even Mercy, and at the 6 seed 11-9, they did just kind of lose pretty handily to Kearney, but by no stretch of the imagination they're going to be an easy out in that 3-6 matchup for Penfield by any means. They played them, they lost by 13 in their regular season matchup, but I'm not going to count the Monarchs by any stretch of the imagination. So really just up and down, same for the boys bracket, but really just this girls bracket. There's so much unknown. There's so much we're looking forward to. And the thing is, other than Bishop Kearney, we have seen these AA teams play over and over and over again. So they are very familiar with each other. They're going to know exactly what they do. They're going to be able to call out each other's plays when they run them. They're going to call, they're going to run out Michigan, and they're going to be like, all right, this person does that. This person does that. This person does that. We know what you're running, and we'll just see who can do it better.
Yeah, that is actually this time of year. That is a very important part. Oh yeah, I know exactly, Rick. When you there's no fooling me. Like I know what's coming. You're just gonna have to go right through me, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's an interesting point I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to. When we're back here next week to preview all these sectional championship games, we're gonna, sometimes the schedule doesn't work out well for us when we do this show. It's going to be really good for us because there are no games on Thursday. We're going to have the high school huddle. We're going to hope to potentially bring in a guest to help break everything down, get some outside opinion from some people who really know the sport as well. So yeah, I mean, this is, potentially the best 2-week stretch in all of Section 5 sports. So I'm really looking forward to it. And Carl, I know you are as well. It's
indoors. Yeah, I'm happy. Can't wait.
Actually, we're sending you to the Nordic skiing sectional championships. Unfortunately, we already missed those. So I was really looking forward to sending you out there. But And we still got bowling coming up. We had one day of bowling in the books. We got one more round of bowling, so that's coming up in March because they had winter break clogging up that. So it's going to be exciting, and we're glad to join us on this journey. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're, of course, at RochesterFirst.com, and all the videos also go up on YouTube. So if you prefer to watch your videos that way, YouTube as well. There's many ways to watch us. You have no excuse. So we'll be here with you next week to break down the championship games, as well as, the hockey championships that are going to happen on Sunday, preview the Far West Regionals a little bit, and wrestling, recap all that action. We got a ton of good stuff for you, so we will see you then. For Carl Jones, I am AJ Feldman. It is time to break the huddle. We will see you next week. Round Ball Roundup tomorrow night. It's going to be a good one. Thanks for watching.